Hey guys, so it's time to do this video. We will be comparing the Galaxy S4, the new Galaxy device from Samsung for 2013 versus the last generation smartphone that was like the most popular smartphone for 2012. So, I'm ready. I'm ready. This is gonna be an intense video. So, I got my coffee here. I even got cookies here, and it's very, very important to have that ready to go because this will be an intense video. People will cry maybe in comments because there will be pros and arguments here and there. So why not just begin by saying that the white one, of course, is the new Galaxy S4, and it is the European variant. It's the Gi9 505. It's having the latest version of Android, and it's awesome. And I haven't even have had the device for 24 hours, but I'm very, very experienced with Samsung's Galaxy devices because I've been using them now for almost 2 years. I kind of know what to look for. So why not just start off here? I can also tell you that the Galaxy S3 that I have over here, it is the GT-i9 305N, which is a 4G Galaxy S3 that was released in Europe a little bit later after the GT International i9300. And basically they are kind of the same, but this one has 2 GB of RAM and it's a 4G phone. Other than that, there is really no big deal. So why not you start off by doing a quick little restart test here. Oh yeah. So I can also say that, it's not really meant for most people to upgrade from an S3 to a S4 directly, because most people out there, they are on a 2-year contract. So that could be good to know. So I think a lot of Galaxy S2 users will upgrade. So we didn't really see any big difference there in terms of startup. So what I will be doing right now is that I will first start off talking about the form factor of these two devices and what have changed. Then we'll be going over some specs. We'll be checking out some apps, browser, camera, maybe some gaming, maybe some benchmarking and Kindle, reading. So, and then I also will talk about what I think about the S4 and, the Galaxy S3 and so forth. So, if we start off with the design here, they are very, very similar in a lot of things, but they also do have a lot of new things with the S4. And one of the major thing with the Galaxy S4 over the S3 that it was the first thing that I loved so much about the S4 was that it seems like Samsung has adopted some of the design aspects from Ace's Padphone 2 and also Apple's iPhone series, and that is that they have now made a side that isn't rounded off. So you can see that it has this big fat side, and I don't think it's in metallic, some kind of plastic material still, but it really makes it easier to reach volume up and down keys here on the left side, and also of course it is around the whole device, and I think that it looks extremely sexy with this bigger side here, because if you do compare it against the if you just take a quick little look here also at the bottom and also at the top here, even though it has this bigger side, the phone is still thinner, and that is something that we'll talk about when we talk about full specs. While the Galaxy S3 is definitely more rounded off, and it feels almost a little bit weird to hold the S3 after you've been holding an S4, especially when you're hitting the buttons. You can really feel how much easier it is. For me, it's a really, really big, nice little update there. I really do think that design aspect really makes the device feel so much better. But they still have that kind of plastic feeling that the S3 had, and like the other Galaxy devices that Samsung has released the last few years. So that's definitely something that they could work on, and also something that they also have changed here a little bit is the surface. That if you really do look closely, it kind of looks like a carbon or something, and it's a little bit cool, but it's not something that you see that much when you look at it from a distance. And if you take a look at on the back, you can also see that kind of carbon little bit look if you really look closely. And I suppose that looks a little bit better. You can also see that it has a bigger camera here on the back side, and also they bumped up the camera from an 8 megapixel one to a 13 megapixel one with the flash down below. Also, of course, when we take a look at it here on the front side, we can definitely see that the screen is a little bit bigger, going from 4.8 inch on the S3 to a little bit bigger screen, 5-inch screen here. And then also it seems like it's a little bit bigger here at the top side, while it's a little bit thinner at the bottom side. And it does look a little bit better on the new S4. That on the S3 the button did look a little bit weird, that they did have a small space here and a big space here, but on the S4 they kind of have fixed that, so now it's in the middle. It looks a little bit better, just in general. They also have some new sensors, like temperature sensors and another kind of sensor. That is pretty cool, that they've also made some cool software enhancements that takes use of those kind of sensors. But that's about it on the front side. And also the button, they also made the button a little bit bigger, which definitely also is a nice improvement for me. Also, when I tap on the keyboard in the software, has another kind of feel to it, another kind of sound, and another kind of vibration feel to it that I do enjoy a lot. If you take a look at it on the right side here, in terms of button layout, they still have the same button layout with the power button on the right side and volume up and down on the left side, and also of course at the back, at the bottom of the phone, they do have that USB port there, so you can charge the device. And then also of course at the top you do have that little port for the headphone jack. Now of course also you can still remove the back on both these two, so you still have a removable battery on the new Galaxy S4, but on the Galaxy S4 you have a bigger battery. And here on the S3 you take it off from the top, just like so. When we do the same thing on the S4 here, what we have to do is we have to do it here on the side, and it basically works the same. You can see there we have a bigger battery, which is a little bit more aligned there in the middle, a little bit lower. So they made some changes there, but nothing really big. If you take a look at the phone from the back side here, we can see that first we do have the stereo speaker still located at the back side. Same of course goes here with the S3, but it does have that one located at the top side, along with the flash there on the other side. You also can see some 4G text there. Of course you can still have an SD card on both these two devices, as you did see when I did open these two devices up. Also in terms of feeling, Samsung could still improve how their devices feel, I think. They could definitely learn stuff from HTC in terms of feeling on the back, I think. Because still I think that they can improve that kind of feeling. But for me, really, there is really not that big of a deal. I definitely do believe that just the improvements that they made here with the design, it just makes it feel way more exclusive if you've been used to using and handling the S3 and Note 2 for long periods of time. I love coffee. So if we continue now and we take a look at some other things, let's talk about the specs, shall we? Let's start off with the first thing. Both these two devices are 4G devices, of course, with the GTI 9. If you buy the GTI 9300, it may not be 4G in your region, but if you have the GTI 9305N that I have over here, then definitely that is a 4G variant, and you should be able to get some awesome 4G speeds on your carrier. And if you don't know what 4G is, well, it's basically just faster, internet connection, and it's just like awesome. So when we go to about device here, we can also see in terms of the UI look, of course, with the new Galaxy S4, Samsung has made a ton of improvements. First of all, it comes shipped with latest version of Android 4.2.2, while latest version of Android 4 the S3 is 4.1.2, kind of jelly bean, and they made a ton of improvements here. They have a lot of new apps. You can see here they do have the Story album, they do have the S Health app, and they've just improved a ton of things in terms of how the UI look. Of course, this is a lot of cool software enhancements with the TouchWiz UI, which is Samsung's own UI that they have on top of Android. Of course, a lot of these features will be available for the S3 in the future, but they've updated the icons as well, and the camera app looks amazing. They have a new app here for S Translator as well, and they do also have some other apps in here that you don't have right now on the Galaxy S3, and I might take a closer look at that in a future video if people are interested in that. You have the Story album app as well, and then also in terms of UI, like if we scroll down just like this, you can see that they have definitely made some improvements here, that you have a quick little button here to quickly customize quick widgets, so you can quickly turn on and off things. And also when we go to the settings page, they definitely made it easier on the Galaxy S4 with a tab system, for one for connections, one for your device, and one for accounts, and then one with more. Instead of just with the S3 right now where you have to scroll up and down. Now some people might prefer this, but I definitely do prefer this. It's a little bit more clean. And it's just like with Google Chrome. We all love tabs a lot. So that's a little bit quick look there at the UI. There's a lot of things that they have improved, and the new TouchWiz is pretty cool. You can also, of course, see that all the apps icons have been updated. They have new wallpapers. Small things like that really do matter to me. I think it's pretty cool to have that, to always have something new. Always see that they try to improve stuff like S Travel and all those awesome and great things. Now, if we continue on and continue with the full specs, so as I did mention, both these two devices are 4G variants, so you will get great speeds when you are surfing around. Of course, now when I will try out the browser and stuff, I will be connected both these two devices to my home Wi-Fi network, because I'm not on the same carrier, so it wouldn't be fair comparison if I would do it with the carrier. So if we continue on with the specs, the Galaxy S4 it is a bigger device, sure, a little bit bigger, but in terms of size like this, they aren't really that much bigger. But definitely the S4 is actually thinner, so it will actually feel kind of like more comfortable to hold in your hand, even though the screen is bigger. So it's around, I think, like 7.9 millimeters in thickness, while this one is like 8.6 or something. So definitely very, very nice there to have a bigger display, but that the device feels kind of like the same, or maybe even smaller in your hand. So very, very nice there. When we talk about the screen technology, we still do have the Super AMOLED, the Samsung's display here on the S4, but something I did notice when I got it was it seems like it's a little bit more vibrant than earlier AMOLED screens, but I might just be wrong about that. You do have a 1080p resolution now also, so instead of 720p here on the S3, it's they double that up almost. or maybe not double, but you get around 100 pixels per inch more. Will this make a real massive difference when you're reading and stuff? No, probably not if you don't read like extremely small text, but I don't think most people use that. But if you continue on, you should also have a latest version of Gorilla Glass on top to protect the screen, so it should be a latest Gorilla Glass 3, which I really don't know if there's any massive difference. While the S3 of course should continue to have Gorilla Glass 2, or I mean of course it does have that. So if we continue now also to check out some other things, the camera also has been updated, not just the camera app itself, but it's a 30 megapixel right now instead of an 8 megapixel one that was big last year. You can also see that they made some improvements here with the camera app. You can record a video and take pictures at the same time. You have HDR, like video mode and picture mode, and you can also take burst pictures pretty quick. The field of view though is a little bit smaller when you take video like this, and of course not everything is about the megapixels. And also POC or GSM Arena, when they were reviewing the S4, they did actually say that it seems like the S3 still can have a better video mode camera, so that could be something that could be interesting to know. But I definitely do appreciate the updates in terms of the UI here with this app. Definitely feels more well thought when they did the UI. So if we just compare it quick here to the Samsung Galaxy S3. So let's see here if I can find the camera app. So you can see here what the major difference this is, how this one looks a little bit outdated. Even though the S3 is still an amazing phone, of course, takes pictures extremely quick here. That is that. Now, if we continue on and check out some other things, I definitely do believe that you get the latest version of Android in the S4 is a big deal. That you get Android 4.2 Jelly Bean versus 4.1 Jelly Bean. A ton of software improvements, and of course you always know that with the latest version with the latest Galaxy device, you will always get some amazing speeds when you are doing new things. You always do know that Samsung will take care of you with the latest updates, of course. If you talk about the chipset that's built inside these phones, the core heart of these phones, then of course Samsung has a long time using the Exynos chipset, and that was something that we got in the Galaxy S3, the Exynos chipset 4412. That's not the case though with this variant of the S4 that I have. I have the, as I said there, GTI 9505. I think, and that one has the Qualcomm chipset, the APQ8064 chipset, and I think it's the same chipset that is in the HTC One, and could be interesting to know. But Samsung is also releasing an Exynos variant of the Galaxy S4 that should be like an octa-core variant with 8 cores. Of course, not 8 cores running at the same time. So these two phones are still quad-core, but the S4 is quad-core, clocked at 1.9 gigahertz. So I think it's even also higher than the HTC One's clock speed. So of course that's very, very nice there. While the Galaxy S3 has a clock speed of 1.4 gigahertz, and it was based on Cortex A9. So Cortex A9, of course, is a little bit older architecture, but we'll probably do some benchmarking scores here and check out the scores fully, so we can really see a comparison. But the S4 definitely should crush in terms of CPU power the Galaxy S3. Also, if we talk about the GPU, the rendering machine when you're playing games, Mali 400, which is something that Samsung has been using for years in the Galaxy S2, the Galaxy Note, the Galaxy Note 2, and the Galaxy S3. It's very well supported in the Google Play Store, so a lot of games run amazing on the Mali 400 architecture. But the S4 here has Samsung also did decide that not don't want to work that much on Mali. in this particular variant of the S4 that I have. So they did go with the Adreno 320 GPU, same as that is available in the Nexus 4, and I also think in the Padphone 2, which actually runs Gameloft games amazing the last times I've been trying, and I might do some heavy gameplays and really see how it will perform, but definitely should be a ton better than a Mali 400 GPU. So there's a lot of improvements here, a lot of awesome things that Samsung is putting into the S4. I mean, I've been just going over some things like the CPU, the GPU, the Gorilla Glass, that it's better, the latest version of Android, UI changes, in terms of build quality, that it feels a little bit more robust, and that it is thinner but has a bigger display, and bigger display has always been a major deal for me, and also that it do have a better camera as well. So a lot of good stuff in there, but it doesn't end there, of course, because they also have a better battery. So they're bumping up the battery from 2100 milliamp in the S3 to 2600 milliamps, so you get 500 more extra milliamps. So of course that is also very nice, and from my experience, Samsung has always been very good there in terms of battery, to always have a good kind of performance. So now if we also go quickly here and check out the price before we move on. Let's see, the Galaxy S3, the LTE variant, in the Pricespy app here. Let's see if we can search for the S4. So as we can see right now, the prices on the S4 right now is from £570 to around £600. And wait a sec. Of course, we also want to change. We want to change this little thing. We want to change the server to Great Britain S3. Okay, there we go. So the score. Okay, so you can see this, the S3 of course costs around 300 to 425 pounds. So around 200 extra pounds is what you will have to pay around for the S4. And now I've just been going over the full specs, of course, and there's a lot of good stuff in full specs, but also in terms of how it looks and feels, I definitely think that it's a very nice update, and UI updates is always eye candy for me. I always like to see that they're trying to improve something, and definitely that's what they're doing. So if we move on right now and check out some quick stuff, like let's check out the browser. So of course Samsung has their own little browser in here. So I like, as I said earlier, I like the vibration when you're typing in the S4. Seems like they made some quick small little tweak change there. So let's just go down here to the desktop version. So something I can see here, I definitely do believe that white looks a little bit more white here on the S4, so it seems like they maybe have calibrated the colors a little bit more. Of course, on both these two devices, it's very hard to read the text, so you do have to zoom in here a little bit. And when we zoom in and out here, let's see. Wait a sec. Okay, interesting. Seems like you can zoom in more on the S. It seems like you can only zoom in to a limit here inside of the S4 when I zoom in. A little bit annoying, I find. I didn't know about this. Let's say I want to zoom in really close. It doesn't seem that I can do that on the S4. Could be something maybe with that is having Huocom and not an Exynos CPU. I'm not sure. Could also be something that Samsung just did. So when we tap on something in here, we really shouldn't see that of a big difference because they're connected to the same Wi-Fi network. For some reason it feels a little bit more smooth here in the S3. Could also be because that's the S4 is new. It's not in many regions. It's not even out of the market. Maybe need some updates here. But I really find it a little bit annoying now when I'm trying it out. I mean, like not a major thing, but a little bit annoying that I can't zoom in more. Feels like I have more freedom here in the S3. So quickly a look there in the browser. I mean, like not that of a big difference. So if we take a look here also, I mean, like I already did check out the camera app here a little bit quick. And I mean the cameras, when we see these new 30 megapixel cameras, I mean, like many times it's a lot about just the megapixels that it sells better with having 13 megapixel in the name than selling a phone with an 8 megapixel camera. And I wouldn't say that for most people it won't really make a big difference. But one thing that will make a difference is that something I think is pretty cool is that you can record a video. You can actually record a video with this new S4 like this, and then you can take pictures when you are recording. I gotta say that's pretty cool. And also that you have more like HDR modes, and there's just a ton of UI changes, UI fixes and changes, especially with Samsung's TouchWiz here that I can't of course go over everything in this video, but if you know anything specific you want to see more of, please let me know about that, and I can definitely check out that a little bit more. So also you can just fire up a game here to check out the speed. So game off game here. Okay, that maybe was unfair. So let me start off with the S4 because I've been trying this a lot on the S3. And I kind of find this game a little bit annoying in the menus. You have to, sometimes you just want to play, you don't want to exit stuff. I like it with the S4 that I don't have a speaker here in the way like I have with the Xperia Z, so I don't block the sound. And it's very, very smooth here, playing Asphalt 7 on the S4. Way more smooth than on the Optimus G, and the Optimus G also has the Adrian 320 GPU, so that's very, very interesting how that works. It definitely seems like Samsung has made some amazing fixes here to really make Asphalt 7 smooth, or could also be the game developers, of course. Could be a lot with the processor that you get this Qualcomm chipset, this APQ8064 clocked very high, 1.9 gigahertz quad core. I mean, like, that is pretty amazing. That's an intense smartphone right here. So you get a lot of, you get a good CPU for your money. So this is probably the best gaming experience ever that I've tried out on a phone, and definitely it should be. It's very comfortable also to hold the phone, and it's not warm right now. Maybe a little bit warmer later. I also do like something that they didn't say earlier about the S4. I kind of like it with the design that you know, the sides on the phone, they aren't as big as on the S4. The borders on the front side, they aren't as big on the S4. They made it actually thinner, and that's like small changes and things that I do appreciate a lot. Because I mean, like, I'm a smartphone guy, I update a lot. I know if most people won't upgrade every year or so because it would just be too expensive. But very nice here. I'm kind of surprised with how good this game was running here on the S4, because I tried out this game on Adreno 320 GPU earlier, but it hasn't been running this good. So very nice experience here. Very nice. That you see, if we can fire it up here pretty quick also on the S3. So first off, it seems like the whole display is a little bit darker here. I should have brightness to be same above. A little bit more choppy experience here. I mean, not extremely choppy, but you can definitely feel a big difference in terms of FPS and, you know, how the game feels. And this is just a quick little look here at one game, one of the more popular games in at least in the racing area of Google Play. But then of course there's a ton of other games that you can, you know, do comparisons with, and I might do more of like an in-depth video about that. But wow, yeah, you can really feel a difference here. That it's a little bit, or I mean, it's a lot more slow on the S3 than on the S4, of course. And it's a lot about optimizations, of course, and it seems like Samsung is pretty good at doing those little things. So if we continue now and check out some quick little reading, see how colors looks like, because I mean, you do have a much higher resolution display. So let's see. Okay, there we go. Wow, so the first thing I can see here is a major thing is that the S4 really looks a lot more like it should on a display when you're reading. The display, even though it's the same display technology, the screen seems to be more calibrated or something, because it's a lot more white. You know, black looks better, and overall it just seems very much nicer. And of course it's a high resolution display also, so you know, if you really like to read that small text, you should be able to do that a little bit easier on the Galaxy S4 compared to the Galaxy S3. So that's a nice little thing right there as well. So I thought we can also try out some, you know, quick benchmarking here. So we'll see if we can fire something up. So we do probably have an app right here. Let's see if we can fire up a game or something like Antutu, and then also maybe a heavier benchmarking app just for fun. Okay, let's do this. So this could take a few minutes. So I can also tell you know what I think. Is the S4 worth it? If you have the money, definitely. I would definitely say a big thing would be to go out and feel the device. Do you think it's a big thing, you know, with the design change, with bigger sides, a bigger button? For me, it's big things, you know. I do like it. I love it. I love it. And also love the UI updates, you know. Sure, the S3 might get it someday, sometime, you know. But you know, if you can afford, I would definitely say that, you know, £200, it's definitely worth it. And also that you get the latest version of Android, you get a bigger battery, you get a little bigger screen also, it's extremely nice. High resolution, better camera, better CPU and GPU, and you also do get some cool wireless sensors and, you know, some cool, awesome, you know, small TouchWiz tweaks and hacks that I might check out more in future videos. I think it's so much worth it. It's like, yes, it's awesome. Why would you want to pick up the Galaxy S3? Well, I mean, the price, it is cheaper, it's still a good phone, it has Exynos, the video, when you know, if you record videos with your phone, it's very important, and the S3 could still be good. FM radio should be available in the S3, and it seems like it's not available in the S4. I mean, like, I don't know who used that, I don't. The field of view also in the camera should be better on the S3. A little bit better. I think after this test, we'll also be running another test, a little bit of a heavier program. Also, you can tell me in the comment section down below what you did think about this video, if there's any specific you want to see in future, any specific comparison or something, and I might be able to do that. Also, you know, if you want to check out the phones, I will have links in the description if you want to check out more. So there we go, we got the score. 15,617 on the S3, well, we got a score of almost double, 25,000 on the S4. And we can see the big things here are definitely the GPU is almost twice, you know, better on the S4. The CPU definitely is a little bit better, you know, or a ton better here also. The RAM, it's a little bit better here on the S4. The I/O kind of seems to be the same. So let's just run another cool program called 3D Mark as well, which is a very, very heavy program to benchmark your Android smartphone with right now. It's pretty cool. There we go. We're running this ice storm. And I think we're just gonna align these two phones a little bit like this. And the sound will stop in like the middle of this test. I'm not sure why. This is some stuff from like Star Wars, maybe. I think it looks pretty cool. Now, there's a very good question here. Would I upgrade from the S3 to the S4 if I would not do YouTube and stuff? Probably I wouldn't, because the S3 is still a good phone. I would probably wait until I get the Note phone, the next Galaxy Note or something. But for a real smartphone lover, definitely you need the S4. You need it. So we're getting a score here now. Awesome. So we're just gonna wait here until the Galaxy S3 finish up. Okay, there we go. So we got a score here of and I mean, just look at that amazing lock screen also here on the S4. I mean, like, that is some. I mean, like, there's so many small things that something has improved that is just like nice. It's like eye candy, and I like those eye candy. Look at this boring here on the S3, and then we get this kind of cool bubblish effect, or like sound is like nice. So we got a score of 3,000 almost on the S3 here, while we got a score of 11,000 on the S4. So I mean, like, in terms of GPU power and like CPU power, it really is powerful. The S4 is a killer phone. You will get a lot of good stuff inside of the S4. So if you really want to have the best, it's a good phone. Yeah, just quick little video here comparing these devices. Please let me know what you did think, if you want to, leave some feedback or whatever. That would be pretty nice. And also, if you did like this video, please leave a like. It definitely helped me out a ton when I see you guys, do enjoy the videos and stuff. And also, if you want to check out the phones, you can check out the description down below of this video. And yeah, so I'll see you all hopefully in the next video. Yeah, peace.